Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So those that know me pretty well know that I'm not a fan of the map Oasis. I'm aware that it's a map and a game mode that people like, but I just find it too stressful to play it in competitive. It can be really intense and the matches could take some time as well. But some news and stats came out saying that the competitive rule set for Control, being best of 5, can offer random advantages to certain teams. In this video we're going to discuss the article with the stats involved, go over some popular examples of this happening, talk about what esports tournaments are doing to sort of counter this, and also ask the question, should competitive Control maps be best of 3 or best of 5?
A person by the name Baroy wrote an article on Winston's Lab which goes over how best of 5 maps can give random advantages to one team because of the map randomizer. Control maps are played on 3 points. In quick play it's a best of 3, so you can only see all 3 sub maps when there's a score of 1-1 and you need that tiebreaker. So quick example, you win on City Center on Oasis, enemy wins on Gardens, and the decider is played on University. For competitive, it's best of 5, meaning that regardless of how much of a stomp it is, you still see all 3 sub-maps in competitive because it's first 2-3. The argument in this article is that teams depending on players and compositions have higher chances to win on some maps than others, and thus gives advantages based on which maps are put into the rotation. We can go over proper examples of this in a second, but let's keep it to the stats for now.
Let's use this example. The team are playing on Lijiang Tower. Team A have the advantage on the night market with a 90% chance to win it. By the same margins, Team B are incredibly good at the garden stage and thus have a 90% chance to win there. But when it comes to the control center, both teams balance out and it's a 50% chance either way for them to win. So what does this mean? Well, in a best of 3, it means that both teams on average have a 50% chance to win the game. They each have their favored map, but when it comes to the decider, both teams are fairly even on it. But if we take these stats and put them into a best of 5, the win percentage chance doesn't stay even. So let's say this, the night market is the first map and Team A win it because of the 90% favor. Second map is Control Center, the 50-50 one, but it goes Team B's way. Team B then win on Gardens because that's their favored map. Now the randomizer comes into play and brings up the market again, Team A's favored map. They win, which then goes to the decider on Control Center, which again is 50-50, and Team A wins that. So based off these percentage chances and the maps the teams are best on, Team A has the overall advantage in this situation because they got to play their favored map twice, whilst Team B got to play theirs only once.
Now this is a pretty strong and not really that realistic example. No team really has a 90% chance to win a map, but Winston's Lab also included some more pragmatic examples, and as you can see, the results still reflect that teams get random advantages depending on what map shows up. The issue here is that it's suggesting that teams have the same win percentage chance on a map regardless of what they or the enemy team run. The more actual and more realistic example we can give here is, imagine you're playing Control, maybe you're a Pharah main and you just play a lot of Pharah, you win the first 2 rounds, you're 2-0 up, it's going really well, but then the enemy team starts countering you, and it basically starts looking like the enemy team will instead take this game and the match is at a 2-2. Emotions start coming into play here with your team getting frustrated, and what I'm saying is basically that there are other factors, human factors, that come into play here. So a flat 90% chance to win is just never realistic. So basically, even with stats, simulations or whatever, we just want to highlight that stats just don't tell the full story.
So whilst we are saying that stats aren't necessarily everything in Overwatch, the overall message that this report wanted to give can't really be ignored. You may think that it seems unrealistic to think that some teams have advantages over others depending on specific rounds, but you'd be wrong. Let's take a look at hero compositions and some sub-maps. Winston for the most part is the optimal pick when it comes to main tanking on Control. So let's say you're a really good Winston and you're doing really well on that. But the likes of Sanctum on the Pole, University on Oasis, Lijiang, and more maps that favour towards Reinhardt because of the tight chokes. The enemy picks up the Reinhardt, beats you on these maps, and there are other examples of some heroes having advantages over others on certain sub-maps. Widowmaker on Runes is incredible, Pharah on Lijiang Gardens is amazing, hell, even a Reset and Junkrat on Sanctum Nepal sometimes gets picked up by the pros as well, because it can be really strong here. The report is more to highlight the problems this would cause in the esports scene, but I do see it causing even more issues in competitive, just because of how players like to one trick and thus have some advantages on some maps other than others. That's just one example that we can give, but there are hundreds of scenarios and situations that we could give of certain sub-rounds being more favoured to one team than the other.
Most tournaments nowadays run the best of 5 in Control still, not changing it from Blizzard's format in competitive. The only tournament going away from that format is Apex in Korea, which runs a best of 3. Now, the main complaint with the best of 3 format is that matches taking 5 to 10 minutes over the more common 15 to 20. Whilst yes, this is a problem, these quickfire games have also become common in other game modes due to the capture percentage system. Full hold it for 4 minutes and then you capture it to the 33% mark in just 30 seconds. That's still a super quick map time. It often feels that controlled maps with best of 5 formats go on for way too long as well. We've seen match times reach the likes of 40 minutes due to the point constantly changing hands and going down to the last second. So how do you do best of 5 maps without risking favored maps resurfacing in the randomizer? Maybe Blizzard can make more areas for more rounds on the certain maps. Adding 2 more places to fight on all the control maps would be interesting. I think overall would prefer faster games over long laborious losses in Control, but I do want to know what you guys think about this as well and what you prefer. Best of 5s, best of 3s, let us know down in the comments below.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Like Mystica said, do let us know what you think of the rule set for Control. Whether you agree with this report as well, there are a couple of loopholes that you could argue, so I'm curious to hear what you say in the comments below. And until next time, take care, and we'll see you then.